We have one more set of entries to go. Professor?
This refers to the overwhelming sense of duty and loyalty the Japanese have traditionally maintained towards those in authority whom they serve. For example, the samurai ritual of suicide was a custom used among the ancient samurai class to maintain the image of blind loyalty to the mission and to superiors. The warrior would indicate penitence for failure by ritualistically making cuts in his abdominal wall until death ensued. The more cuts made before death, the greater the penitence offered. In regular Japanese life, Shimatsu Sho has evolved into ritual forms of apology, such as profuse letters of apology for any breach of social etiquette, including violations of bureaucratic rules, traffic violations, improperly executed commercial paperwork, etc. The violator takes full responsibility in the letter for the infraction, which normally cancels out any official penalty. It is, in turn, a serious breach of etiquette to reject a letter of apology.
What this tells us is that biblical peoples were not alone in not making life their foremost value. You can hear a lot of argument by outrage over ritual suicide practices from skeptics. What this tells us is that our no-big-deal approach to sin isn't universal, and it's a product of our individualistic culture.
Traditional Japanese have tried to maintain and balance two worlds. One consisted of reality or honne, their true thoughts and intentions, and the other a facade or tatemae, a screen created to maintain the appearance of harmony and serve as a ploy until the other party is revealed their own position. The tatemae honne system often becomes a crucial factor in encounters between Japanese businessmen and politicians and their Western counterparts because there is a natural tendency for Westerners to immediately lay all of their cards on the table, not only as a goodwill gesture, but also because they believe it is the best way to reach a fair, speedy agreement. Westerners should not regard the tatemae honne factor as a minor cultural quirk that the Japanese can easily dispense with when they are given the incentive to do so, or as something that can be easily overcome by the force of logic and persuasive powers. Generally speaking, logic and forceful persuasion are not effective in Japan because they are regarded as cold, calculating, and self-serving.
I had an extended discussion with one of our guests here about this concept, concerning this video. But note particularly what is said about logic and persuasion. Modern critics who object to the lack of logic in biblical texts and teachings need to be aware of this.
Harmony is the number one priority in Japanese interpersonal and social behavior, taking priority over frankness and honesty. Examples of wa-oriented behaviors include copious exchange of information to avoid unpleasant surprises, frequent face-to-face meetings to build a sense of common commitment and behavior, doing personal favors for key members of your network, conspicuous presence of cultural ceremony, careful attention to word choice, tone of voice, and facial expressions. The Japanese wince at the frequent bluntness of Western language is found in phrases like, "I guarantee you," "take my word for it," "you must understand," or "I'm absolutely sure that."
This is a parallel to the way we often find biblical language so difficult to swallow, and it relates to criticisms of the Bible not being clear, or not meaning what it clearly says. That wraps up the analytical entries. We'll close out with a conclusion next time.